Hey, what's up? My name is J.M. Chaley and welcome to my channel. This week I want to talk about writing fiction from lore. What does that mean? It means using real history and real lore to drive your story. But I've already written my story. That's cool, but where does it take place? When does it take place? Is there anything going on that you can insert into your story to add a little bit more depth to it? Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm talking about stories that take place, fictional stories that take place on Earth. So all the high fantasy stuff, including the stuff I'm writing right now, this kind of stuff doesn't really apply because we're plucking stuff that's already written from other cultures, other histories of lands and times, and using to leverage our story. And yes, I know we already do that, right? If you're writing a story about a Revolutionary War soldier in Virginia who comes across some Native American evil spirit, and the spirit is messing with him in some way, and he's got to overcome whatever the spirit is trying to do, and there's stakes with that, and he's trying to fight the war against the British, and blah, 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 and you've got your story. I'm not talking about that, because of course you're going to research the Native American lore in Virginia. You're going to research the American Revolution, right? You're going to research Virginia itself. Who knows, right? You're going to research all that. That's what we do. We're writers. That's not what this video is about either. So what's this video about? Why am I doing that voice? I'm going to tell you what this video is about. Just you wait. I'm talking about flipping the creative process on its head just a little. So let's back up in our example about the Revolutionary War soldier, the American Revolutionary War soldier, right? You know you want to have a soldier in the Continental Army fighting in the Revolutionary War. You know that you want some nasty Native American beastie or spirit, right? These things you already know. You have your story. That's okay. But what if instead of throwing a dart at a map and just picking Virginia arbitrarily, you do your research before you make any solid decisions? So now you're going to research just Native American lore in general. What things are cool? Well, there's lots of cool Native American stuff. There's skinwalkers, there's the Sasquatch, there's the Wendigo. Unfortunately, none of those creatures were part of the folklore that the Native Americans that were around in the area of the Revolutionary War would have been part of, right? Skinwalkers are out in the Southwest, you have Sasquatch in the Pacific Northwest, you have Wendigos up by Canada, right? You need something in the 13 colonies from that lore. So you begin your research there, and you come across, let's say, for example, the Pukwudgie. The Pukwudgie? How cool is that? A little porcupine bastard running around the town, running around the forest, messing with our hero, the Revolutionary War soldier. But holy crap, wait a minute. The Pukwudgie is in Massachusetts, where the Wampanoag tribe is from. Maybe the Nipmuc tribe, right? But these are Massachusetts tribe, not a Virginia tribe. So now you've moved your story from Virginia to Massachusetts, but that's okay because the elements of your story still remain the same. Now you look at what was going on in Massachusetts during the Revolutionary War. It just so happens a lot of shit was going on in Massachusetts during the Revolutionary War. So in this example, conveniently, there's a rich body of history to draw on as well that you could make your soldier part of. Interesting little segue here. When I was writing the script for this video, I wanted to come up with a sort of, as an example for, doing your research ahead of building your story or writing your story, fleshing out your story completely. And I came up with the whole Pukwudgie in Massachusetts thing, right? Originally, I was going to come up with some pirate in the Caribbean, right? And I started looking at that and the East India Trading Company, and I was going to come up with examples of how that might not work, and maybe you shift from Tortuga to Barbados, or you do something else. In my research, I realized the East India Trading Company wasn't in the Caribbean. It was in around India, and Only in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie did they inaccurately say that the East India Trading Company was in the Caribbean. So I ended up researching all this stuff for this video that I didn't really need. And the interesting irony was that the story I had planned to write was subverted by research, real lore. And that's really something that's going to save you time. Because if you dig your heels in and you say, I want it to be XYZ, and you start doing your research and then realize, crap, when you could have researched something else and then build around that. Save you some time, save you some aggravation. This has happened to me before when I was writing some short stories, and even in my Kindle Vella writing process, I would start writing and run across some interesting lore or some city that works better because of something that was going on. And then I'd shift gears. I'd say, oh, I need to make this take place over here. And now I've kind of flipped everything on its head. So now when I write, I start thinking about the when and the where before the story. I know the big story beats in my head already. That's fine. I have a story in mind. But I don't really commit to a when and a where and a what until I've done a little bit of research on the history and the lore and stuff like that, and find the right matches for my story. Why reinvent the wheel? If this cool lore already exists and you can kind of grab onto it, hitch your wagon to it, why not? Why create more stuff if you can tag something that maybe your reader already has heard about or knows about, and can kind of make a connection and go, oh crap, that's cool. Yeah, I know about that. I heard about that. In the Iron Druid series, there's this whole thing about being Nigel in Toronto. I won't get into the whole thing, but there's this whole idea of someone impersonating someone named Nigel in the city of Toronto, and it turns out that there's a ghost in a church or something, I forget. There's a ghost in Toronto named Nigel. He's a famous ghost. And if you go and you Google it, yeah, you get the whole story and everything like that. And that's inserted into this particular book in the Iron Druid series. And I thought that was cool because, Kevin Hearn didn't need to create bullshit to add depth to his story. He attached real stuff to it. And I think we do that as writers anyway. But I like to believe that he researched that first, or knew about that first, and then put it in. Like, he didn't pick Toronto out of a hat and then say, what's some cool shit about Toronto that I can shove in here at the last minute, right? And that's really why I wanted to make this video. I had the bad habit of setting my who, what, where, when, how of the story in stone, and then moving forward, whether it's outlining or just writing the story itself, hitting a place where I have to researching it, and then going, oh, there's nothing really here I can grab onto to enrich this, Oh crap, but if I had used this, that would have been so much better. So now I kind of turn a little bit on its head. I do my research first, and it's just an easier writing process for me now. And I realize some of you are probably thinking, yeah, no kidding. That's what we do, I'm sure a vast amount of writers are already out there doing exactly that, putting their research first before they commit to anything in their book. But hey, it's new for me. This is my writing journey. I'm sharing it with you on the off chance that you're hitting the same obstacles that I did. And my advice to you would be, front load that research, see what's cool. If you're writing fantasy fiction, if you want something supernatural, find the supernatural first, see if there's something you can grab onto, hitch your wagon to, and then go with that. If you're looking to make something from scratch, create your own lore, your own mythology, this is something out of your own head, 100%, great. This isn't for you. This is more about something where you want to add depth, world building, setting structure, whatever, and you're hitching on to existing lore. So that about wraps it up. Using lore in your books, deciding on the lore first before you commit to the story beats that might include lore or dovetail up to lore. If you like this video, please give it a like, smush that like button, and as always, please subscribe. I post every Thursday. It helps me out tremendously if you subscribe. I'm learning more and more about the YouTube algorithm and, of course, how likes and subscribes put my video in front of other people that might enjoy my content, might find my content helpful. I'm looking to help newbie writers. I'm still a bit of a newbie writer. I'm still learning. If I can help other people, I'd love to do that. So please subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can read the first chapter of my novel in progress, A Flower in Hell, on jmchaley.com. The site also has a link where you can send me a message. You can join my newsletter. Let's stay in touch. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.